for them on October 1st to spike every socialist, anti-American, gun-grabbing, open border promoting system. But it still doesn't matter. MSNBC and CNN are going bankrupt on record. If they weren't taxpayer funded through bailout money, through stimulus money, they wouldn't even be there. And so it's Ghost trying to convince the living that they still matter. So I tell you what, Alexa, say that there are 0 viewers of Infowars.com and 0 affiliates and just that we don't exist. In fact, why don't you just announce that I'm dead? Of course, it's not true, but this is the totalitarianism that we're facing, and I want a big article on it. I want the graphs. I want it all. We have 1 billion views on YouTube. 1 billion. One channel, 500 million. That's just a small part of what we do here. How do you think I have 50 employees and a multi-million-dollar studio? Do you think there's no listeners? In hundreds of news articles today attacking me, there have been hundreds a day for a month plus. They call me internet host, even though we have well over 160 affiliates. I'm an internet host. And there is a major effort to buy off stations, to harass stations, to have them dump the show going on everywhere. Because the system's scared of us. And you know what? I ought to be glad that they at least are trying this instead of just killing me outright. They're just trying to kill the signal and stop it. You, the listeners, have to understand, all Hades is breaking loose. They are desperately afraid of this broadcast because Michael Savage is coming on and Colonel Schaefer is coming on today, and you can call in, and Ron Paul was on last week, and Governor of Texas put out a tweet agreeing with us about Jade Helm, and Senator Cruz came out and said it is a concern because you can't trust the federal government. There's an awakening happening. They're scared of the Tea Party. And Time Magazine called me 5 years ago the prophet of the Tea Party. And it's true. That's basically the function. I'm the guy in the wilderness that everyone's scared of, and no one dare say my name, and Fox News says the one we will not name. Well, because it freaks you out, Fox News. You've got about 15 million viewers a day, and we've got about 4 or 5 million one way or another. And that freaks you out. Because we're your biggest competition next to, I mean, you've defeated CNN, MSNBC, they don't even exist. But here's the thing, Fox, I'm not in competition with you. You want to play the part of the fake conservative group. I just want to have a country and a future. I really want to keep the Second Amendment. I really take it personal being overrun by a bunch of social engineers. I take it personal having Obama act as a dictator. I take it personal they want to ban homeschooling. I take it personal they're trying to force inoculate. I can't sell out. It's not who I am. I don't want to be enemies with anybody. I just want to be free, and I have a right to be free and not be a slave. I have an inalienable right from my creator, not the state. I am a free being. And other free beings for every race, color, and creed resonate with that. And I don't care if it's radical Islam or the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're all tyrants together. That's why they work together to shut down their enemy, Christians, conservatives, and libertarians and veterans. Remember, we sent Joe Biggs and Josh Owens down to the border. We're a very respected group. I can't think of when they put out this info. Judicial Watch said that they confirmed there was ISIS training camp over there. And then the FBI came to the airport and wanted to meet with our people and said they thought it was very credible. And again, it was low-level FBI tried to stop the hijacker decoys in 3 different states. Actually, 4 different states and 4 different major cities before 9/11, and were ordered to stand down. The low level's not the enemy, folks. It's the globalists that infest the government. But in hundreds of articles a day, hundreds, NPR, Texas governor deploys state guard to stave off Obama takeover. All he did was say, I'm going to monitor the federal troops and make sure they follow everybody's civil rights and make sure everything goes well. I understand Texans are concerned. But, you know, we support the military and we sure everything's fine, but we'll make sure. That's what state's supposed to do, is monitor the feds, and they monitor us. And then they misrepresent that Governor Abbott said that Obama was trying to take over. It's the same thing, preying on their audience who are totalitarians and are so dumb they don't know it. And reading from this, did I mention the ISIS terrorists? They've come across the border, and they're going to hit soft targets all across the Southwest. They've set up a camp a few miles outside El Paso. That includes a Mexican Army officer and Mexican federal police inspector. Not sure what they're doing there, but probably nothing good. That's why Special Forces guys are here. Get it? To wipe out ISIS and impose martial law. So you know, what'd you say? Get back to the party or grab another beer? This is a transcript from NPR making fun of us. This was put out May 2nd, one day before the attack in Dallas. And ISIS is recruiting Americans, Brits, and others. And ISIS is taking responsibility. I mean, is a cop shot in the leg enough of a terror attack for you? There'd have been a whole bunch of dead people if the police hadn't been staked out, figuring there might be an attack. Doing their job. The FBI NPR says ISIS is in all 50 states. That was in the Associated Press a couple months ago. Now, I don't know if they're going to be provocateur, wind-up toys, or they're going to let them attack us, but I know our borders are wide open, and they let ISIS fly over the world. The FBI tried to stop both these guys from flying to North Africa. Both the dead shooters. One of them had gone to court over caught lying about going to North Africa, but the judge ordered him released. Okay? The point is that NPR and everybody thinks they control reality. You don't control reality. Coming up, I'm going to get into huge news on the economy. I thought the economy was perfect. That's what the media said. America's capsizing economy. Can it right the ship? CNN money. Capsizing economy? That sounds pretty bad. U.S. factory orders dropped by 5th consecutive month. Zero hedge. We're going to talk about what's really going on with the economy. I thought NAFTA and GATT and all this was going to, and QE Unlimited was going to be wonderful. Photos out of West Virginia, the Michelle Obama federal lunch program, which is nothing but a giant scam for donors to sell rotten food to the kids in tiny portions. Burnt burritos in melted plastic was served to the school. And it's because there's no respect. There's a passing the buck. Zero tolerance has allowed people to shuck the responsibility and say, I'm just following orders. And it starts with saying a kid drew a picture of a gun, so we're going to arrest him, or we're going to lie and say there's a law, you got to be vaccinated because the school said so, or, you know what, Michelle says we eat burnt burritos or food with bugs all over it, we do it. And they've been here lying to us as unemployment intensified, as more people went off the employment rolls, as every real economic number showed our society was falling apart. And now they're slowing down on QE, which is trillions of dollars given to major mega banks and corporations that are basically tax exempt. It came out in the news yesterday in the Street publication that George Soros got away with not paying over $6 billion in taxes on a law he got the Republicans and Democrats to pass that George W. Bush signed while he, again, lobbies to raise middle-class taxes. But I'm just excited that it's finally in mainstream news. I mean, I talk about this all the time. But here it is from CNN, that Michael Savage is going to be joining us. America's capsizing economy, can it right the ship? Volatile stock markets, weak economy have created a perfect storm for nearly flat growth. 0.2% with Cook numbers is actually negative 2 to 3%. Ron Paul agreed with me last week. The question is whether the U.S. economy and markets can right the ship in May and beyond. There's reason to believe they can start to this week. And it's just more false hope, more bull. But they know now that they can't lie to you about the economy anymore. People aren't buying it. So they're claiming, oh, basically growth's flat. No, it's negative. And negative growth for 3 quarters is a depression. Here's another headline from Zero Hedge. U.S. factory orders drop for 5th consecutive month. After 6 months of MOM drops, something not seen outside of a recession, February saw a modest 0.2% rise in factory orders, which has spurred economists to extrapolate a 2.0 expectation for March. However, while factory orders rose 2.1 in March, February was revised to a 0.1 drop, leaving the manufacturing orders down 4.0 YOY. The series of YOY drops continues, now a fifth consecutive month, to indicate a recessionary environment. The ratio of inventories to shipments remains stuck at extremely elevated levels. But you can use all these fancy numbers all you want. They're cooking inflation. They're cooking unemployment. They are cooking the price of goods in the inflation numbers. There's all these new taxes and regulations and Obamacare weighing things down. Obamacare, and it's going into effect now the last year, is meant to kill and consolidate and Cloward and Piven the economy. And that is exactly what's going on now. Is there a way out of this nightmare? I don't know, because the social engineers don't want us to have a culture. And they want a divide and conquer strategy where we're just a Tower of Babel where no one can communicate with each other. And that's basically what it's like now. We're a mess, folks. Stay with us. And CNN, I've got the clips, is actually basically saying that people deserved it because they dare have cartoons criticizing the Prophet Muhammad. Well, we are a classically liberal society, and that doesn't mean we restrict free speech. It means, in the words of Thomas Jefferson, free speech, the First Amendment, is king. It is simply amazing to see CNN and MSNBC criticizing the people who are pretty mild who are putting on this event. We have the FBI claiming that ISIS has tentacles in all 50 states. We have Judicial Watch that I found to be very credible, claiming that they found camps over the border. We've gone down and investigated, found huge mosque, you name it. Meanwhile, Focus on the Family head, Dr. Dobson's come out and said the collapse of Western civilization is now happening, and I agree with that statement. Someone who's been ringing the alarm bell for decades is Dr. Michael Savage, best-selling author, multiple PhD, and, of course, syndicated radio host, michaelsavage.com, michaelsavage.wnd.com. He's a multimedia icon in the conservative movement. Dr. Savage holds a master's degree in medical botany and a second in medical anthropology. Additionally, he earned his PhD from the University of California at Berkeley in epidemiology and nutrition sciences. He's the author of 25 books, including 4 New York Times bestsellers. He earned the coveted Freedom of Speech Award from Talkers Magazine in 2007. He's also banned in England for criticizing radical Islam. And I've been basically told that I'll be banned if I don't watch myself. And now this is coming here. So I want to get into his new book, Michael Savage, Countdown to Mecca. I know his previous book, openly criticizing China and their power grabs, got censored. So it looks to me like, as I've already started reading, it's just excellent that he's basically putting what he thinks is going to happen into a novel. We'll see if I'm correct in a moment, but you need to get it from the multi-time #1 New York Times bestseller. Find it at Amazon.com, WND.com, you name it. Michael Savage, Countdown to Mecca. But so much to get into today, sir. Great to have you with us. Got a little bit of reverb there, getting his audio lined out. But what do you make of the situation that just unfolded up in Garland and the response to saying the First Amendment is to blame and nothing about the shooters that shot the cop?
Oh, my friend, we're getting a little feedback. So what I need to do here is turn off my speaker, I think. Alex, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. You've got the floor. Go ahead.
Alex, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
We're having a little technical problem. Tell me when we're ready to go here, because I don't know if you're hearing me.
We've got a little bit of feedback back and forth. We don't normally have problems with Skype, Dr. Savage. You go ahead and just have the floor. I want you to speak to what I was just talking about.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Alex, the thing is this. We've been penetrated. We've been infiltrated. How high up it goes is anyone's guess. We know that the president's middle name is not Jesus. We know that the military has been told to stand down. We know the